Welcome back, everybody, to Unbiased News. News for you, where we'll give you the facts, and it's up to you to make the opinions. Today, we're talking about Biden's new proposed bipartisan border bill, which was co-created between parties over the last several months. The crafters of the bill are the Senate Homeland Security Subcommittee on Border Management Chairwoman Senator Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona, who drafted the bill with Senators James Lankford of Oklahoma and Chris Murphy of Connecticut. Joe Biden called the bill, quote, tough but fair. There's a lot of unrest surrounding this bill in Congress, and there are many opinions on it. Today, we're going to dive into the bill and dissect it without the rhetoric. We'll give you the facts, and you make the opinions. WhiteHouse.gov posted a summary of the bill on February 29th. Quote, Biden is traveling to Brownsville, Texas, to meet with U.S. Border Patrol agents, law enforcement, frontline personnel, and local leaders to discuss the urgent need to pass the Senate Bipartisan Border Security Agreement. Trump was at the border at the same time as Biden, sparking speculation among parties about the border crisis and its possibly pivotal role in the 2024 election. Trump visited Eagle Pass, Texas on Thursday, the same time as President Biden, to address the public about the border issues. Biden is asking Trump to stand with the bill, stating, "You know and I know, it's the toughest, most efficient, most effective border security bill this country's ever seen. So instead of playing politics with the issue, why don't we just get together and get it done?" Trump spoke against the bill, saying, instead of shifting the blame on everyone but himself, Joe Biden should take responsibility for the border crisis, deaths, and destruction that his policies have caused. Say Laken Riley's name and use this executive power to shut down the border today. Laken Riley is a 22-year-old nursing student who was murdered during a jog by 26-year-old illegal immigrant Jose Antonio Ibarra on February 22nd. More on this story later. The Republican Senate stands against the bill, saying that it's not hard enough on the border. WhiteHouse.gov continues about the bill, quote, Border Patrol staffing has remained roughly flat over the last 4 years, despite border encounters increasing by 250% over the same period. Today, there are just shy of 20,000 Border Patrol agents. The bipartisan Senate bill would add more than 1,500 new Customs and Border Protection personnel. This shows a potential increase in Border Patrol agents and a light focus on direct border encounter solutions. The bill focuses heavier on asylum reform as WhiteHouse.gov continues. Similarly, asylum officer staffing has remained stagnant over the last 4 years, and there's an insufficient number of asylum officers to do initial screenings. As a result, each asylum case generally takes 5 to 7 years to be heard and adjudicated. Today, there are approximately 1,000 asylum officers. The bipartisan Senate bill would add an additional 4,300 asylum officers, and it would make the asylum process faster and fairer. This marks a potential 430% increase in asylum officer staffing compared to the potential 7.5% increase in Border Patrol staffing. The bill would also raise the standard for immigrants to access the U.S. asylum system. The bill fact sheet continues, ICE detention facilities are currently over capacity. Today, ICE has approximately 40,000 detention beds. The bipartisan Senate agreement would increase detention beds to a total of 50,000. Moreover, without immediate action from Congress, DHS will need to move funding to ICE from other critical missions or reduce ICE's enforcement operations to manage a shortfall of several $100 million, noting that the Department of Homeland Security will need to find funding elsewhere for this issue if the bill does not pass. WhiteHouse.gov continues, currently there's a backlog of over 2 million cases for immigration judges. Each asylum case generally takes 5 to 7 years to complete. Without more judges, these timelines and backlogs will continue to grow. Today, there is funding for 734 immigration judges. The bipartisan Senate bill would provide funding for an additional 100 immigration judges and their associated staff. This would be a roughly 14% increase in judges to assess immigration cases in an attempt to expedite the immigration process for legal immigrants. WhiteHouse.gov. We continue our fight against the trafficking of fentanyl and other illicit drugs. The bipartisan agreement would fund the installation of 100 cutting-edge inspection machines to help detect fentanyl at our southwest border ports of entry. It would also give the president the authority to impose sanctions on foreign nationals knowingly involved in significant trafficking of fentanyl by a transnational criminal organization. The bill addresses fentanyl trafficking issues at the southern border. In 2022, border personnel confiscated 14,100 pounds of fentanyl, and in 2023, just below 27,000 pounds at 26,700, a 480% increase since 2020, as well as possible solutions for the organizations behind the trafficking. WhiteHouse.gov continues, the bill also includes $1.4 billion for cities and states who are providing critical services to newcomers and would expedite work permits for people who are in the country and qualify. And this is as far as WhiteHouse.gov will take us. The bill also contains aid provisions for Israel at $14 billion and Ukraine at $60 billion, and another $4.83 billion to Indo-Pacific nations, as well as £10 billion towards humanitarian aid to citizens in Gaza, the West Bank, and Ukraine, bringing the total cost of the bill to $118 billion, according to the American Immigration Council. The bill also provides an emergency authority to the U.S. president, allowing them to shut down the border at will when the border system is overwhelmed over the next 3 years. This bill has been all but stomped out by the Republican-led Senate, as many, including former President Trump, say it does not address the issue at the border strongly enough, while the Biden-Harris administration states they strongly believe in the bill. Republican Senator Kramer of North Dakota stated in an interview with PBS, "In a world of divided government, incremental change in the right direction is still better than no change in the right direction." He continued, "I think the substance of this bill, where there are some problems, is that there is an awful lot of generosity for legal counsel. For example, for illegal aliens, open-ended dollar amounts that could be problematic. Sanctuary cities, here, we're going to reward the pull factor that tracks people in the first place to run this risk." Larry Hogan has stated he launched his campaign for Senator of Maryland, a seat currently occupied by Ben Cardin, due to the Senate's disagreement with the bill, stating, "3 weeks ago on a Wednesday night, when I saw a real solution to secure the border and provide funding for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan, something that most of the Republican senators had said was, all those things are important, and they were told to vote against what they believed in. It made me frustrated and angry enough to say, I think I'm going to go down there and try to do something about this." As things stand, the bill does not look like it'll be passed. Although with both the President of the United States and former President discussing issues at the border, there is opportunity for change. And that's the facts. Don't let anyone tell you what to think. Have a great day.